Joining us now to discuss that possible alliance, Dr. Walid Phares, who is Skyping in this morning. Dr. Walid Phares, the Middle Eastern expert who is the author of the book, The Lost Spring, U.S. Policy in the Middle East and Catastrophes to Avoid. Dr. Phares, we welcome you back in this morning. So, to destroy ISIS, how will the United States have to deal with Iran?
Well, first of all, there is a legal issue, Congressman, with Iran that you are very much aware of. The Central Organization of State in Iran, the Pasdaran Iranian Revolutionary Guard, is on our list. First, they have to go back to Congress and deal with the issue legally to begin with. We are sending people to talk to them, but at some point, we will be finding ourselves legally speaking to people who are on our terror list. That's number one. Number two, the Iranians do not want to destroy ISIS to be replaced by some liberal democracy. They want to destroy ISIS to be replaced by them and their allies and Hezbollah and Assad and their friends in Iraq. So if our strategy, the suggested strategy to have Iran helping us, the best help Iran can provide at this point in time is to stay behind its own borders, take care of its own borders, and make sure specifically not to move in Sunni areas. If it moves in Sunni areas, our entire strategy of having Arab moderate Sunnis mobilizing against ISIS will go down.
So, Dr. Phares, can you give us, though, the pros and cons of working with Iran?
Well, there's only cons. The only pro that the Iranians are telling us about, and I've been in the Arab media discussing this for the last week, is that they will be marching with us against ISIS in Iraq. They will be supporting the Assad regime marching against ISIS in Syria. Now, if this was Russia or China, I would understand that. We have a lot of problems with them, but they are not attacking us. Iran with Hezbollah, Iran with Assad, and of course what happened in Iraq is in a position that is against us. They are waging a warfare against us. They are developing the nuclear bomb. They are threatening Israel. They're oppressing many people. It's not it's not New Zealand. So if we want to have Iran with us in the coalition, the minimum would be for the Iranian regime to change a lot of stuff, a lot of positioning, to disarm many things, and to ensure that when they're going to come with us in this alliance, they're not going to establish other Islamic republics instead of the Islamic State.
Walid, less than 2 minutes remain in this segment. I don't know if there's a Persian word for chutzpah, but given where the Iranians come from in this, the two-for-one deal, it would seem to me, would be irresistible to gain leverage against the United States with attacks on ISIS, but also come in and say, hey, we want to have a power-sharing deal in this. Do you think they're going to try to develop some sort of power-sharing deal to the ultimate public relations detriment and foreign politics detriment of the United States?
Absolutely. What they want to repeat, this is their fantasy, is to sit down with the United States as two superpowers. We are the superpower and they are the other superpower, and divide the Middle East in zones of influence like the Yalta Agreement that divided the world between the Soviet Union and the United States. Actually, their spokespersons on the media are telling me directly, oh, we need to have influence here as Iranians and you Americans have influence there. That's their position at this point in time.
And is there any chance, 30 seconds, we'll give it to you while Lee answers, is there any chance that America will replicate Yalta and give the Iranians what they want?
The administration willing to save the deal that they have done with the regime of Iran would like to do something close to that, but I think a majority in Congress and in the American public and an overwhelming majority in the Arab moderate Sunni world would reject that.
Well, Walid, we want you to stay with us because following the break, obviously, there are a whole lot of additional players in this in addition to the United States and Iran. So we'll ask you to stay, and those of you at home, we ask you to stay as well as we return to our discussion with Dr. Walid Phares here on America's Forum.